Welcome back to Pet Adventures. Today we're going to be tearing apart the S-10.
Alright, y'all, so like Red said, we started tearing down the S-10, guys. We didn't video it yesterday because we was cooking out with the family and stuff. So in between cooking and sipping on some cold ones, I was able to take the bed off and do a few little things, but didn't get to do much videoing for y'all. So got the S-10 off the trailer, did a little pressure washing, ended up doing a clear coat delete on this thing, but it's all good. We was gonna sand it down anyway. But we took the bed off. That was pretty simple to do. Just had 6 bolts on there, one in the back, and then same thing, one there, one there, one there. Got underneath, got the cab bolts undone. There was 4, one in each corner of the truck. Put the bed over there. We're gonna get it ready for sanding later on. That'll come later, but we're gonna get all this frame undone and stuff. So we got a lot to tear down on this thing. We're gonna get it down to just a bare frame and tires. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna get up under this hood here and see about getting everything disconnected from that firewall. We're gonna probably pull off our little quarter panels there and then undo everything to better get the cab off. Once we get that cab out the way, we're gonna get back started on our motor. We'll get that motor transmission out the way, see what all we're gonna reuse, and get this whole radiator out. All the fun stuff, guys. So got a lot of work ahead of us today. We'll see how much we can get done with these 3 couillons running around. There's all my clear coat. Hit that with the pressure washer, it all came off. Clear coat deleted. Alright, y'all, so my original plan, what I was thinking was I was gonna remove the whole cab with the side panels, quarter panels, everything all at one time and just disconnect anything that was connected to that. But after some thinking, I think it's gonna be easier if I pull off each panel one at a time, get everything out the way, because I want to leave this radiator support in. Just get the radiator and stuff out, get all my side panels, and then we'll get to the cab and all that. So I think that's where we're gonna start today. We're gonna go ahead and get started on getting these little quarter panels off, and then from there we'll look at disconnecting all the other stuff, getting everything disconnected from the firewall, steering columns, brake lines, all that good stuff. So let's get started on it. So something I should have did from the get-go was lubricate all my bolts. Make everything a whole lot easier to come out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk around and try to lubricate everything first. Maybe I won't have to fight it so bad. Put some juices. I'm gonna juice it up, Reggie. Yeah, we're gonna juice it up. Juice it up. What? No. All right, y'all. So 2 million bolts and a lot of cuss words later, got the quarter panels off and got the hood off. They all come off together. So in order to get them quarter panels off, man, you got 3 bolts on each side in the front. And there's one up top. There's one underneath the fender, one up here, and then the hood actually holds in. And you got your 2 in the door frame and then one down there. Shoot, on mine, the passenger side here, that damn thing was so damn rusted out, I couldn't get them bolts off for nothing. But after a lot of fighting, I was able to beat it out and break it. So now we're on to the part where got to disconnect anything that's on the firewall cab itself that connects to anything this way. We're disconnecting. And that way, we already got all the 4 bolts that hold the cab on off. So once we get everything disconnected here, we can just raise this up and get it out the way. We'll put it on the little trailer over there, and we'll just have a rolling frame with an engine and transmission on here and the radiator. And then from there, we can disconnect everything from the radiator, get our engine and transmission out. So that's all we're doing. I'm just following like all these little hoses here. Anything that connects back to the engine that goes into the firewall, we're going to disconnect. So take them off, take all our air conditioning lines off. I already disconnected the wiring here, ran for the headlights and the fog lights. Right now, I'm actually working on disconnecting the brake lines here. I'm going to get those out the way. And then see, we got some more wiring. Looks like it runs down into there to here. I have to figure out how to get that out the way. But one step at a time. We're just gonna fiddle around. I'm just gonna slowly disconnect everything. Get this out the way. A little bit of wiring here and there, but I'm gonna fight with these brake lines for a little bit longer. See if I can't get them undone without breaking anything. And then just keep looking. Anything that runs this way out of that firewall got to go. But we're getting somewhere, guys. Pretty soon we'll have that. All right, y'all. Getting a little late on me and I'm getting real frustrated. So we're going to shut it down for the day. We'll get back to it tomorrow afternoon after work. But we got our steering arm unbolted. I just got to finish popping that off. Got our 2 brake lines disconnected. I was working on our emergency brake or park brake for manual. I was working on getting that unbolted underneath. I still got a little ways to go. Then I can slide that cable out through the frame and it'll go out with the cab there. Got our manifold, our vacuum for the brake booster undone. Got the alternator undone. Got our AC lines disconnected. Heater core lines disconnected. Shoot, we got a lot disconnected. So I think once I get that e-brake line undone, we'll be ready to start coming up with that with the cab itself, and then see what I missed, because there's so many wires all in the back there that's just hard to tell what's connected and what ain't. So as we slowly lift up on it, we'll see what it's hanging up on and disconnect. But I believe we got the most of it. Ready to get that cab off of there, drop that back down, and see about getting that engine and transmission out of there. I'm ready to get that little 2.8 undone and rebuilt. See if we're gonna sell it. If one of y'all want it, let me know down in the comments, and we'll get it sold. I won't need it, but they sure are hard to find, that's for sure. That's the only reason I ain't going back with another one. I probably should have rebuilt it, but I like horsepower, so we're gonna put a bigger motor instead of rebuilding a smaller one. But hey, if you just want a little put around truck, hey, a little 2.8 will get you done. So somebody could use it probably. But that's gonna be it for the day, guys. So I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace out. Stay ranching. Hey, como se va, y'all? Welcome back. We're on day 2 of this S-10 teardown. Alright, so I want to run through a couple things with y'all that I didn't go over yesterday or didn't fully go over. So with tearing down this S-10, I wanted to show y'all for these quarter panels or your fender panels, whatnot. I showed y'all on the truck, but I want to show y'all on the panel itself. That way y'all can actually see where all the bolts were. Okay, so right here you had a bolt And most of the bolts were either 15s or 13s. Most of them were 13s for this. I think it was 15s for the bed mounts and the cab mounts, radiator support mounts. All those bolts were 15s. Most of these are going to be 13s. So you had one here, and then as you can see, this one was routed as hell. I still have one in there. You had one there, one there, one there, and then one in the corner here. Okay, that went to your front clip for the radiator. All right, then back here, there's one that goes here straight down, and then one for, this is where the hood would go. So your hood latches in here. You take off both of them, you can remove the hood. Super easy to remove the hood on there. It's just one bolt on each side. Nothing else is holding that thing on there. Okay, then when you open your door, you open it up a little bit and you have two bolts. You have a bolt there and a bolt there. Okay, so you crack your door open a little bit, and you can see if it's not open all the way, it'll kind of shut off. You open it too much, the back of the door gets in the way. So you got to open it kind of good, get you an extension, get in there, and it'll come out pretty easy. Then you have a bolt here that you get to from the bottom of the fender well, and then down here on the back side. So if you're laying down under the truck, you look in, there's a bolt going through, you unscrew that one. And that's pretty much all that holds them on. Now, of course, like I left my my overflow tank, I had to disconnect the little vent line for it on this one. I think that's all it had. That was my passenger side. On my driver side, I had this vacuum canister thingamajig. I don't even know what the hell it's for, but we're gonna get rid of that shit. But there was a vacuum line coming into it. We disconnected it, and then for my windshield wiper fluid, I had an electrical line run to it, unclipped that, and then a little vent line that goes to the sprayer on the little front clip there. Undid both of them, and then that was all that was holding this on. But obviously, when you're undoing all your lines, you're gonna have some lines that are running through here, like for your headlights, things like that. You can disconnect all that before you even get this panel off. So other than that, ain't much to it, guys. It's pretty simple. Like I said, it was a 13, I believe, for all of that. Up here, I had to use a 13 and a 12, just because one side was smaller than the other. Then see, just one little bolt that holds it. And then for, I don't even know what this is called, but it goes up there between the hood and the windshield. Some people call it cowl panel. You got to pop your windshield wipers off of that. On this model here, the 91, all it does is just slide onto the little spline. So I just took a screwdriver, popped it off, boop, it come right off. And then I had a bunch of little self tappers that went down. I unscrewed that, and it came right out. But we're gonna eventually do that. Somebody tried, whoever had the truck before me, they did a decent job of, trying to make it look good. But when they did their body work, I don't know how well y'all can see that, but they put a lot of Bondo on there. But I think they drank one too many in between letting it dry, and they forgot to come back and sand it down. So now it's just a bunch of big bumps everywhere, all over the place. They just slapped their body filler on there and called it good. And then they obviously put some cheap ass clear coat, because that was peeling, and then it didn't take much. One hit with the pressure washer and it come off. So we're gonna take it, we'll sand it down real good, get all the, especially in the spots that are peeling. I'm gonna sand it all down, and we'll spray it. Be like a scratch and shoot. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna do any better, but I'm definitely gonna have all them Bondo spots filled up, sanded down smooth. So back to this thing. We're gonna get it off of our fancy jack stands. Okay, we'll winch it up. We're gonna get it down. I think we're about ready to get this cab off. We just about got everything off of it. I'm about to go through it, double check. We're gonna see. I'm gonna move them rims out of the way. We're gonna drop the bed down. I'm gonna roll the truck back a little bit. We're gonna get us a strap. We're gonna run it through the windshield of that, through the windows. And I think we got everything off. My grandpa happened to come through this morning, give me a hand while I was at work, and he claims he finished disconnecting everything. So we're gonna see. Yeah, I know I stopped on that brake line yesterday for the emergency brake. he went ahead and got that done, stuck it in there. Like I said, these are your lights for your headlights, fog lights, and everything that runs across this quarter panel here down into there. This bolt's disconnected on the bottom, but that's how you would remove this part. That's how you can see it's kind of loose. I could take it out right now if I wanted to, but I don't plan on it. I want to leave this in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect. Well, once I get the cab off, we'll take the motor transmission out. I'm going to pull that radiator out of there, and I'll probably check my lines for the AC condenser there, because I think whenever I was untwisting these, I probably twisted it up pretty good, and I'd hate for it to leak. So we're gonna look. I got another one over there that's been soaking around. We had lying around. We filled it up with water. Don't see no leaks. So I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure in it. See, hopefully it'll hold. There ain't no leaks. I might replace that, but I'm gonna leave this in place. Set the new radiator and all that in place. Then we're gonna set the new engine. That way I can see exactly how close I can get to it without it touching or hitting or having to fight with it. The further I can come up, the better, because there ain't gonna be much room whenever we put that 350 up in there. So I need to be able to slide it as far forward as possible, which of course we're not gonna have this fan shroud, but it's a whole lot bigger engine. 2.8 compared to a 5.7 is a little different. Then also I got some S-10 conversion motor mounts that I'm gonna use, but being that I have to slide it forward, the ones I got from that guy, buddy of mine, they solid like that. They're supposed to be able to bolt up and then move it a little bit forward. But I'm gonna take them, I'm gonna weld them to some metal plates to where I can slide it in case my motor mount ends up here instead of way over here. If it does, I'll have a metal plate behind it, and I'm just gonna weld it to the frame itself. That way I ain't gotta fight with no bolts and all that, and disconnecting all them fuel lines that run through there, fighting with all that. I'm just gonna weld that plate all the way to it. So I believe that's it, guys. I'm gonna go start getting my tools ready, roll my windows down. Like I said, we're gonna drop the back of the truck, get our jack stands out from underneath. I'm gonna use the winch, hit the snatch block, lower it back down, roll it back, run our straps through the top, see about hooking it back to the winch, and we're gonna see if we can't just and move that out, roll that frame out of the way, get our little trailer over there, back it up under here, set the cab on it, and then go set it down over there. So then after that, we can start working on pulling the engine and transmission out of here. I do have one thing left for sure to do. I got to get this shifter out of here. So I got to pull that little rubber gasket off and see what's holding it underneath there and get that out of there. But everything else should be disconnected. Throttle's disconnected, brakes, clutch, emergency brake. That's another thing. I'll probably disconnect this emergency brake line because unfortunately, but fortunately, at the same time, going back with an automatic transmission. I would have loved to go back with a manual, but being that the transmission was free, if it's free, it's for me. So we're gonna run a automatic transmission in here. So I gotta lose that. So being that I'm gonna have a true park and stuff, I really don't need that little emergency brake no more. And it's just more hardware that I can get out of the way. Once we get this cab out the way, we'll be able to remove that line there. Our clutch, we're not gonna need any of that. Move the clutch piston thing, whatever. I don't even know no more. We'll be able to get all that out the way, and we're gonna try to make as much room as possible as we can. Might look into replacing our heater core and fan. I did see somewhere on the internet, I'm gonna have to look again, but there's supposed to be some type of slimmer fit housing there that'll help fit that big engine without hitting up against it and stuff. So we're gonna see, and I'm gonna see what I can reuse off of this and what I have to get off the old truck there and do some flipping and flopping and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, let's get to it. I guess we're gonna I'm gonna go get my tools, finish pulling a couple little things out, get my straps, get this thing lowered down, and we'll go from there. Let's get it. All right, y'all. So starting off with the shifter here. All I'm seeing so far is in each corner of this thing is 4 little Phillips head. So they almost stripped out. So that's lovely. But they working. So we'll get them out the way and see what's underneath there. I already got the other two out. Let's see there. And there. Okay. Try not to lose them. Might need them one day in the future. Oh yeah. That's some good lovely dirt dauber nest. Just roll that up on top of there like that. Good dirt daubers. It's good insulation. Alright. So really, let's get that nasty stuff out of there. There we go. We got a big enough hole here that I probably don't need to take this off, but let's see. Looks like it just screws on right there. Alright, y'all, so one little snap of the wrench there, and now our shifter, make sure we stay in neutral there, can unscrew. Come so. Keep that over there. We're gonna put all that in a box by itself, so we know where it's at. And now I got enough clearance to pop that thing on out of there. So that should be it. I'm gonna roll these windows down on both sides, and we'll get ready to run a strap through this thing and see what we forgot. All right, got our winch hooked up. Let's go up with it. All right, now we can slide our jack stands out. Throw that to the side in case we need it again. Might make some pretty rims for this truck. Jeep, some good Jeep rims. All right, let's get this thing down. And down. All right, easy peasy. Thank God for Shade Tree Mechanics, huh? Shade Tree, yes. Mechanic, NASA. Wheel straight, now we can come on back. Now we're a little off center, but I think it'll be all right. We're gonna see. Uh-oh. What we hitting on there? Oh, maybe the center one. Oh. My good nut. Might need that. Reuse everything around here. Put that on the seat so I can forget about it. And let's give it a little push. Push. Oh, there, push. There we go. Oh, almost too much. Almost too much. A little bit more, a little bit more. Oh, must be hitting on a root. Let's get on the other side. All right, y'all. So I got two straps that are 52 foot long. Somewhat under there. Probably slip off once I get it up in the air. But we're going to see what it does. So I'm going to just slowly come on up with it. Slowly roll this frame forward. See what all we're hanging up on. Got a little. Let's see what happens if we come up a little bit more. Another tap. All right, let's take another look. Got a couple clips all the way down the frame that's holding it, and then a nut right there. And I think that's should be it. Wire tab comes off. We got a small one on the frame here for the wire going to the electrical, for the brake lights and stuff. Looks like it's gonna be a 10. That other one was a 19 for your bell housing bolts. That's good information to know. So let's get this one out the way. All right, y'all. Got it down to the frame. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull this engine and transmission out of there. We'll start disconnecting it. Got a couple of the motor mounts on there. We're gonna get the exhaust unhooked here. Get our transmission mount undone. Got another exhaust mount, motor mount on that side. We're gonna disconnect our water lines from the radiator and get this shroud out of the way. And we should be able to pick engine and transmission up all at one time. Oh, we'll disconnect the drive shaft as well. Get that out of there. And then we'll have an open frame, guys. Man, we're getting close. Getting close. We're gonna then take this frame, pull the pressure washer over. We're gonna pressure wash it real good, and I'll probably end up spraying it down with a rubber coating, like some spray in bed line or something like that, just to help protect that frame from rust and rocks and mud and all this and that. But we're gonna wash it up real good once we get this motor and transmission out of the way. Get that old exhaust system out of the way, and then we'll better roll it into the shop over there and slap our new motor and transmission in there, new radiator, all that good stuff. We're gonna see. From what I was told, if I'm gonna hook my motor and transmission together, hook the drive shaft in, I should be able to slide my motor far enough forward, being that I'm not running a fan. I got electric fans on that new radiator I got. If I can get it close enough, I can use this drive shaft without having to cut it. I pulled a tape measurement just now, and it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be close, but we already knew it was gonna be tight anyway, so we shall see. But now we're gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna find out what size all these bolts are and start pulling everything apart. Let's get it. All right, y'all. I think we got everything disconnected. Got my oh, I still got this one. So I gotta undo this power steering line, but I got this one disconnected. Got my motor mounts done. For the motor mounts, it was 18 on one side, 5/8 on the other. Okay, got my fuel lines, got the fuel return and the fuel inlet going into this filter here, disconnected right here where it comes out of the frame to where it's nothing's connected to the block. Back here was a 15 for the transmission mount. Got my radiator hose disconnected. Disconnected the top one here from the thermostat housing up there. All my AC lines, I believe, are disconnected. Same thing, another motor mount here. 18 on one side, 5/8 on the other. Started to disconnect this shit here. And then, boy, it was a terrible design trying to get that out of there. But luckily, there's just one nut right on the bottom. Pull that out and this should come up. Shouldn't be nothing else connecting. I got the exhaust disconnected. That was a 15 as well. Almost everything was 15s except for the motor mounts. Disconnected the drive shaft. That was an 11. Got your 4 bolts down there. Slide it out. Got it up over there underneath the cab. So I think that's it. I'm gonna attempt to remove this power steering line if I can get something on it without breaking everything. If not, I may have to disconnect it at the pump for now. But I'm gonna try to disconnect that. I'm gonna run me a strap over the engine, strap over the transmission, and we'll use the chain hoist. Hoist that up and out, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so I got the power steering lines disconnected. I had to go straight to the damn pump itself with a pipe wrench. I don't know how they expect you to get to that shit without stripping it. I put a wrench on it, but it just wanted to strip it out. I couldn't even fit a pipe wrench in there. So talk about a pain in the ass. I don't know how they expect you to do that. Much less imagine if everything was still here and you had to get to that. Makes no sense to me. But anyways, got it disconnected there. That should be all of it. I think everything is disconnected from this motor and transmission. So we're gonna go ahead, wrap some straps around this son of a gun and yank it on out of there. All right, so I got that wrapped around the tail of the transmission, went around the headers on each side, and now we'll come up slow, see what happens. And just rip it all out, screw it. Let's go see what we broke. Alright, twisted up our brake line a little bit. That shouldn't be too bad. Okay. Nothing else look like it's broken. That's good, that's good. Front clip kind of slid around, but that ain't no big deal. I can move this around how we need because it's not bolted down. Alright, y'all, I put the damn impact on there, but it's just free spinning. I have no idea how to get them damn bolts out of there. I don't know where to, there's no hole or nothing to get in there from the backside. If y'all got any tips or tricks, man, y'all let me know. If not, I might have to get the torch on that sun gun now. I don't know what's going on or why they won't come out, but that's my latest problem now. Trying to get them two sun guns off of there and see what's going on. Another day down. We got it completely stripped down. Still gotta get these motor mounts out. But like I said, if any one of y'all know the secret to it, or if I gotta just cut my own access panels up in there, just, I don't know. Let me know. But still gotta get the bumper off though. Get that out the way. Got this mount here, come off of a full-size pickup, but I'm gonna have to do some cutting because that right there, I don't think it's gonna work. Could be wrong. We shall see. But yeah. Other than that, we're getting it. I still gotta get this cable out of there. I'm gonna jack up the back end, take them tires off, bust the breaker apart, and see about getting that emergency brake undone. Get that wiring out the way, and then we're gonna start getting some of the junk off of the cab over there that we know we're not gonna need. And then once we get all that cleaned up, I'm gonna get some spray, some rubber spray, spray all that frame down, get it nice and pretty and protected, and then we'll roll it up in here and see about getting that engine in place, bolt that transmission up to it, lower it down, and see what she's gonna look like. Y'all stay tuned, man. Give me a like, a follow, something, comment. Let me know what y'all think, what y'all have done different. And if y'all had it in this stage, what would y'all do? I ain't got much money to spend. We're trying to do this on a budget, but let me know what I should do while I got it in this stage. So, other than that, I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace out, guys.